Hello and welcome back to another Sledgehammer Ties episode. Today we're going to be making a bit of an experiment. It's something that I've seen people do before, but I don't really know exactly how it's going to turn out and all that. So I just figured I'd just go in kind of blind and see what happens. But it's going to be kind of like a Zig Zag switchback type of shirt. So what I'm going to start by doing is drawing lines all the way across the shirt to give me a guidelines for both pleating it up straight as well as where to do my switchbacks. So let's get going. And there we have it. Had to swap markers because my other purple one died, so there's that. So now we're just gonna pleat it up this way and try our best to keep them straight. Okay. And I'm just using these clips here so that I've done this one sleeve, and if I don't clamp it, it'll just keep coming undone and undone and undone. So that's just to hold it in place. And that's it, all pleated up. It's not exactly an easy task to do a super long pleat and keep it straight, but though the lines definitely helped out, and I think it's gonna be good. All right, so the next step is gonna be moving over to doing some switchbacks. Okay, so I think I'm going to do every 5 lines and then do a switchback. That'll give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll give us like 3 or 4 zigzags up the shirt. I think that'll be good. This is kind of an experiment anyway, so whatever comes out, comes out. All right, so to do this, you can't really just fold it, because see, when you fold it, it kind of just like splits everything or rounds everything off. We really want kind of crisp lines. So I'm going to undo this bottom one here. Kind of scary, I know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's this one right here. And I'm just gonna marry this guy over, match up the lines to lines without losing my pleats. And the next one's gonna be right here. So let's go the opposite way. Now it seems to me what I'm seeing here is it kind of helps if you kind of treat in each one individually, but marrying up each line into the next one to try to keep, because I want this line of ridges, the markings, to stay straight. So it just takes some finagling. It kind of moves your pleats around a little bit. But that's kind of what I want to see, is that kind of hard turn right there. So I'm going to go ahead and finish going all the way up, and I'll see you when I'm done. Okay, so a bit of a technical difficulty. I thought I was recording. Apparently I wasn't. So what I did was I actually flipped the shirt around. So I started at the bottom down here, and I kind of worked my way up. And then when I got about halfway, I flipped the shirt all the way around and started working my way in this way. Some things that I've learned were your pleats are going to move around, so you can't just trust them to, you know, be a straight fold over all the way around. You're going to have to kind of adjust your pleats as they go, but I definitely think it did help pleating up the shirt initially, just because you can keep the same width all the way around. And yeah, be careful, it's going to want to buckle on you whenever you compress it. But yeah, so that was a bit of a whoopsie on my part. Sorry for that. But now we can think about throwing some color on this guy. All right, ready to throw some dye on this guy. So the colors that I went for, it's going to be kind of a rainbow pattern. So I got lemon yellow, I got orange sorbet, Chinese red, grape, sky blue, and Kelly green. So I'm going to be putting those out across in lines. And so let's get those guidelines drawn on. So this guy is about 8 inches long. So 6 colors into that. We're going to go about 1 1/3 inches per section. So right about here. Okay, so not quite perfect, but you know, it'll get the job done. All right, so now I'm just going to draw those lines across. And I do want them on the other side as well. Okay, so let's just, we're measuring from about right there. All right, so they match up fairly well. So that's good, good news there. So we're gonna come in and we're just gonna put them out in this order right here. I just now realized that I did something dumb. I'm doing 6 colors and it should have been 5 lines. So it should have been 8 divided by 5, not 8 divided by 6. That's okay though, I can just repeat that last color on the end. All right, there we go. Brain farts aside, this should work. Okay, so before we put the hot water on there, of course we need our soda ash. And then we're going to use our spray bottle and just kind of give it a light mist just to get those dyes kind of settled in place. And now for the hot water. So in this first pass, what we're trying to do is we're trying to push these colors about halfway through the shirt. And then we're going to flip it over and put some more dye on the other side. All right, so I don't really have a good way of knowing exactly when I'm about halfway through. If anybody has some ideas for that, leave it in the comment section for me. But I'm gonna call that probably pretty close. I'm not seeing anything so I'm gonna actually flip it back and keep going. Okay, so now I'm gonna come back on the other side and offset the colors by 1 to kind of do a little bit of a DNA pattern. I don't know, this isn't gonna do much, but all right, so we're gonna let that sit for an hour and come back and see if something cool comes out or if I just made a total mess. It's 50-50. Okay, so it's been about an hour. Let's start washing this guy out. Okay, so that's kind of what it looks like wet. Obviously my second coating was undersaturated, but it's okay. The first one was decent, and a little bit of white always gives a little bit of contrast, even though I don't like seeing white in my tie-dyes. That's just me. Okay, off to the wash. See what comes out. Okay, so here it is. Well, I definitely learned a few things in the process of making this guy. One, this pattern is a lot of work, and it's not my favorite. Second, I think with these guys right here, I know what happened. So whenever I flipped it over and I started to go spray through the second layer, I was starting to see dye drip out of the bottom of the shirt, which was the side that had just been dyed. And usually whenever doing a hot water, if you're just doing it top down and that's it, that's kind of a sign to, you know, hey, whoa, stop, you're full. But I didn't think about the fact that that half was full. I flipped it over, so it was just kind of dripping stuff that was already there. So I stopped way too early. But on the plus side, it just kind of gave you these like lines of color, which is still kind of cool, I guess. But I'll know for next time that whenever I see that dripping going on, it doesn't actually mean that the shirt is saturated yet. So there's that. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and editing. I think I've gotten a little bit better in the editing, not showing so much of the longer process. You don't need to see 2 minutes of me in fast or sped up, just spraying down a shirt. So I kind of like chopped up that a little bit, and I hope you guys liked it. But I don't know. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And for now, this is Sledgehammer Tie-Dyes out.